everybody. Welcome to JA Today. I'm your host, Super Bowl champion, Ellis Wyms. Now, today we have three phenomenal women that have been very instrumental in helping to support junior achievement programs, supporting our JA company program in Houston ISD. They also have done a lot of other projects and created other organizations that really help support Houston area youth. Again, three awesome women we have. We have Miss Jarrien McCoy, Miss April Duerson, and Miss Tameka Stegall. How you guys doing today?
We're good.
Good afternoon.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, and again, thank you guys for all the work you do to help support junior achievement. So I'd like for each one of you to just tell us a little bit about yourselves and your role over at SLB. April?
My name is April Duerson. I've been with SLB for the last 15 years. I started my career as a geologist and was hired with SLB as a field engineer. So I worked offshore and on land on the drilling side of the business. And over the years, I've done software deployments, HSC, service quality, and today I am communications for operation systems and IT. And the best way I like to put it is I'm the Olivia Pope of the IT world at SLB. So that's what I did.
I like it. I like it. Getting the job done. 15 years. You've been out on oil rigs?
Yes, I worked in many oil rigs for 6 years. I was on a oil field scholarship, and so I've done from coal mining to drilling for our natural gas to looking for natural springs for Zarka water over the years.
Well, you're a lot braver than me, again, because going out on an oil rig requires two things that I absolutely hate, and that's water and a helicopter. And I ain't doing either one of those.
The helicopter training class was a little difficult. I was very thankful I made it through.
Yeah, I would not have made. I would have passed out when they got the blades going. So super brave, really, really cool. Jarrien.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I'm Jarrien McCoy. I like to call myself a passionate, optimistic, winning team spirited people manager. I've been at SLB for 18 years, but always in HR. Many facets of HR, from benefits to compensation. I've had experience in working in the UK, so I have international experience. But although 75% of my jobs have been in Houston, I work on local, national, and I do have some global project experiences as well. Currently, my role is overlooking and overseeing our U.S. and Canada visa relocation and compliance teams, and responsible for all the policies of SLB from an HR standpoint. So very exciting.
All right, so you keep everybody organized, get everybody where they need to be, make sure everybody's getting what they need done. That is absolutely awesome, and I need somebody sometimes to keep me organized over here. Make sure I'm where I need to be. Keep me out of trouble. So I had to call you there.
All right, I try.
Yeah. Tameka, what's up?
All right. Well, these are really good introductions. I don't have but my name is Tameka Stegall. I have been with SLB for 16 years in various different capacities, and we'll probably get into it a bit today. One of my initial roles was community outreach for SLB, and then I later transitioned into HR, which has been my home ever since. And in that, I've had various different roles within the U.S., but then also I did do a stint abroad as well in South America, and returned back to the U.S. just before COVID, which was a blessing. And since then, I currently work as the global headquarters HR manager for one of our largest division, Well Construction. So I have employees all over the world that we help navigate. I'm the Olivia Pope of my domain. I think that's really what HR is, helping people find their niche, but then also we put out a lot of fires. So, yeah.
Well, Schlumberger, now SLB. Again, once I moved to the city of Houston, that's one of the first companies you hear about is Schlumberger. So it's one of the biggest, baddest, and most powerful companies in the oil and gas industry, in the energy sector. And the fact that all of you have over 15 years of working with that company says a lot about who you are as women, who you are as people, to be able to establish yourself in really one of the most powerful companies on the planet. When you talk about oil and gas, nothing moves, nothing is built without oil and gas and the millions upon millions of people that work in that industry to make it go. So it's awesome to see you guys have just built a career at a company like that, which is kind of what we want to do at JA, is be able to help our students develop the skill sets to be able to be you guys in the future. So it's great to get an opportunity to talk to all of you and just kind of talk about what you're doing with JA and what you're doing in the community. So again, Schlumberger, now SLB, and I like how you guys, y'all just rebranded and y'all already got the SLB down.
We're getting used to it too, so no
we
worries.
slip up every once in a while, but yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So from what I read, again, Schlumberger's been committed to education and supporting Houston area youth for a very long time, right? For they've been here in this community forever. So what I'd like to know from you guys is, as an employee, you guys are inside the company. You guys see the true company culture. You see what the company is made of. What's their heart? Do they really, really care about the community? So from your perspective as an employee, how have you seen Schlumberger really just go out and help support Houston area youth?
I'll answer that question. I think, when we look at our own personal core values, you want to make sure that you're aligned with a company that aligns with your personal core values. And that's one thing I can ultimately say about SLB. It's in our DNA, right? Improving and exposing educational opportunities to all people, right? We're a huge, diverse company. We partner with different organizations to really enhance and that's part of our competitive edge. And I'm really, truly blessed to have the opportunity to work with SLB. Now, in terms of junior achievement, which is really dear to my heart since I was exposed to junior achievement when I was in high school, SLB has a long-term commitment in partnership with junior achievement since the 80s when I was a little one, right? As well as they also provided a lot of financial opportunities, over $2.5 million in funding. And that shows your commitment, not just, financial commitment, but we also need to showcase that we're a partner and we're actually doing the work. And I can really, truly say that SLB, we've been a sponsor to the Junior Achievement Golf Tournament since the 90s, and as well as in terms of our volunteers. Since the early 2000s, we facilitated over 1,800 different programs, supporting over 40,000 students in terms of the Junior Achievement BizTown program, the Junior Achievement Company program, and recently the Junior Achievement 3DE program, just to name a few. So I'm really proud to work with a company like this, like SLB.
Yeah, and again, Junior Achievement couldn't do what it does without the support of our corporate partners. Again, and you guys, we're trying to prepare a generation of students to work for companies like Schlumberger, who are very unique companies, very powerful companies that provide a very important service to the globe. So Junior Achievement is a part of really helping prepare students to work in an environment like that and to be a value add. When they get 21, 22, 25, 30, like they have the skill set, they know what it takes to work at a company like Schlumberger. So we need corporate partners like you guys to really show our students the way. And it's great to hear how Schlumberger has been a part of doing that.
Yeah, so from my perspective, very early on, like I said, I was able to work in Houston area community outreach for the company. And so was able to have a firsthand view of just how important, how much of our budget, how many of our employees were galvanized to be kind of the hands and feet of the vision of giving back to the community. And so it's been really rewarding to have that, because I think it's ultra important. I mean, I'm originally from Gary, Indiana. I had no idea I was going to land in corporate America, but it was really important that I was able to see representation at all levels growing up. And I think that really opened the door for me to understand that there were really no limits to what I could do or where I could go. And so just on this side of it in adulthood, just wanting to make sure that I land in an organization that does create an outlet for me to be visible, to provide that representation for the next young lady or young boy who's really, may not see that in their everyday environment, but then understand, energy transition, understand corporate America, understand those dynamics, understand financial literacy, which I think will really make a huge difference in their trajectory. So,
Great.
I'll chime in, but from a very different perspective. Going back to just SLB and the root where we definitely serve in communities where we work and where we live. We'll talk a little bit more about B.O.L.D later, but with the initiation and inception of B.O.L.D, we created a community outreach pillar. And one of my very favorite community outreach programs is what we call Loving on Your Seniors, where we've been able to partner with the City of Houston, District F Sitting Council Person Tiffany Thomas, where we go out during the Valentine's Day weekend, whether it's before weekend or afterwards, for the last 3 years, and we hand deliver baskets to the senior citizens of that Piney Point community, which is a historically Black neighborhood. And because it's just one of the purest forms of volunteering and giving, it's not that we're accepting anything from the senior citizens, but other than they're happy to see us, they're happy to receive it. And it allows us the opportunity just to give back and say, thank you for being a part of history, of living and continuing to be a part of this historically Black community. But again, we are allotted funds and we have over 30 volunteers of different demographics from our organization to come out for this Saturday event. It's not during the work week. So it's just something to be exceptionally proud about when we're looking at SLB and the opportunities we provide just in the community as a whole for us.
Yeah, and again, that is awesome. Again, companies like SLB have the resources, they have the people, and it's just such a great thing that they allow you guys access to those resources, provide access to some of those resources to be able to take those resources into places that wouldn't necessarily get those opportunities, have that access if you guys it wasn't on your heart to do it. And then SLB gives you the resources to actually go out and do what's on your heart. And again, that's amazing. And that's why our corporate partners are so important because of the resources and the power and the reach and the footprint that they have and the ability they have to make change. So again, amazing stories by all of you. So to get to, junior achievement, again, financial literacy. Tameka, you mentioned financial literacy. Again, it's a subject that a lot of our schools, our school system really needs the business community support on. And again, our business community, they're the experts. They know what our kids need to understand. They know what they need to kind of have as foundational knowledge. So Tameka, why is financial literacy important to you? And why did you choose JA to support and partner with to deliver those financial literacy programs?
Yeah, no, I think JA really closely aligns to my heart as far as being able to have a platform where we can deliver some skills and some lessons learned as it relates to financial literacy. I talk about the fact I remember getting dropped off at college and everyone was handing me a credit card and I signed up for all of them. I'm like, oh, well,
Me too.
No job, no way to
too.
pay it back. I'm just like, they couldn't expect me to pay this stuff back because they just gave me this card. I don't have any money. And so actually working after graduation to pay back some of these poor decisions that I made, right? And I really wish there was some program that would have helped me navigate that a lot better and to have really a clear understanding on what credit meant, what balancing, what a budget
Absolutely.
meant. And so for me, it was a lot of trial and error and really just taking the time to learn those lessons the hard way. And so if I could be in a position to be on the front end of this and share my experience and share some of these lessons. And the cool thing about JA is it's packaged in a nice platform. The lesson plans are there, but you can really deliver it from a firsthand perspective and being transparent and say, hey, these are the mistakes I made, but this is the way to go. And so for me, it really just resonated with my journey and all the things that I wish I had as a kid. And I wish somebody would have told me on the front end. And so if I could be a part of that, then it was just a win-win. And so it was perfect alignment.
Yeah.
Can I chime in there as well?
Go ahead.
I was not the initial believer to volunteer because I really didn't think I was the right candidate to volunteer with high school students. And Jarrien really pushed me hard to join the JA company program. And, you know, it's been a blessing, right? Because I actually own a catering company outside of SLB. And I grew up in a single parent mom, and I didn't know how to manage my finances. And even my catering business was a ministry. So, you know, having to teach young ladies at the Young Women's Preparatory School how to manage their business and actually tell them some of the lessons learned from my business, you know, explaining, and as I'm learning the information to teach the next generation, I'm learning myself, you know, making sure that my business is sound and making sure I have a great business plan established, because initially I did not have a business plan. I was just, you know, shooting from the hip, right? But now, after the last 3 years, our business is thriving. And that's really because of Junior Achievement Company program and working with the young ladies and having that opportunity. So it's been a win-win situation for me as well.
Again, that's an amazing story. And again, to sometimes as adults, you know, you want to put forth this persona that you have it all together and you know everything. And when it comes to finances, man, there's so many things to know and learn and understand that you never really have it all together. So even for our volunteers, like, they learn as they grow. Like you kind of go through a curriculum that you're kind of exposing this kid to, but at the same time, the kid don't know, like, man, I'm picking up a couple things myself right now. Like I ain't really know that. Like, you know, let me see what you got on your paper. You know, what you got going. So you kind of learning as you go. You know, I tell the story sometimes. You know, I was a 6th round pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got a $60,000 signing bonus, right? So I'm thinking I'm getting $60,000. I get my check and I'm like, who is FICA? And like, why did he get 20 grand? Like, what's going on there? You know, like, you have no clue about taxes and why you have to pay taxes and, you know, what's that about? So again, some of the things that our students get to learn, again, they get to learn on the front end, things we had to learn the hard way. Those credit cards in college and having to fix your credit after when you want to get an apartment, and now they want, you know, a triple deposit instead of no deposit because your credit score is low because you got $10,000 for credit card debt from college. And all these little things, these little lessons learned that we get to pass back to the next generation. So hopefully they're at least aware. And a lot of the stuff we do at JA, again, is about providing awareness. So again, our next question. So again, we all have a mutual friend, Ms. Tanya Daniel, who's amazing with the JA Company program. And she was telling me, you know, about B.O.L.D and that partnership with B.O.L.D and how B.O.L.D has been so instrumental in helping deliver our JA Company program to our students at the Women's Preparatory School there at HISD. So Jarrien, tell me a little bit about B.O.L.D, like, who is B.O.L.D, and tell me about that partnership between B.O.L.D and Junior Achievement.
Absolutely. So B.O.L.D is the Black Organization for Leadership and Development. It's an ERG that was established around 2020, where we needed, inside of our great company, just a community where we can come together. And we are just so proud of being able to establish this ERG. We started off with 16 members within the organization. And we're closer to 1,000 across the globe with B.O.L.D. But with B.O.L.D, we established 3 solid pillars. One was the membership and networking, meaning that we needed to have more members. We knew with 16 individuals, we wouldn't be able to establish things on our own. We also have talent acquisition, making sure that as we had opportunities to come into the organization, but making sure that we increase that diversity coming into SLB. But I think the one that have always touches a lot of our hearts is the community outreach. And at the time, Tameka, myself, and there was one other team member, Balia, we were the co-chairs for community outreach at the inception of B.O.L.D. And we already knew that financial literacy, trying to ensure that we are teaching our students, was one of the platforms that we wanted to make sure that we are standing on. And of course, naturally, we've had interactions with JA. And we contacted JA, and then they put us in contact with Tanya Daniels. And it's been a blessing to be connected with Tanya. She is super passionate, and immediately she connected us with Young Women's. And Young Women's, we personally, I think we've grown and matured with them. It's taught us a little bit of patience and how we've gone through 3 years with them. But I actually probably want to pass it over to Tameka. My first school was actually Klein. We tried to be overly ambitious, and we had 2 schools at the time. But Tameka was there for the very first year that we had Young Women's, and I think that she can talk about the progression a lot better than what I can for the last 2 years. But she's been there for the full 3 year, and we're excited about going into our 4th year. So Tameka.
Yeah, no. So Young Women's has always been near and dear to our hearts at SLB. My mentor, and I know she's a mentor to a lot of us, Paula Harris, was involved with the creation of that school, and so it was just so fitting that this be one of the schools that we start with as the B.O.L.D organization. And so we were in, as soon as we developed B.O.L.D and as soon as we knew what the pillars were, it was JA and it was Young Women's. And that school really resonated with us being, at the start, most of our membership was female. And so really for us to partner at that school and really go into the school each week and develop a relationship with the young women there who are doing phenomenal things on their own. And so it was an inspiration to us as well to be able to work with them. And it was a bit of a challenge because I think there's that level setting of, okay, we've been in corporate America for some time, but then adjusting to student life and the life of a high schooler where, we have these our priorities may not always align at the same time. They may be worried about something different, right? So it did take a bit of alignment for us to not be like these teachers, like we want you to get this lesson, but really working to build those relationships with these young women and meet them on their level, go at their pace a bit. Now there is a bit of okay, guys, let's go. But really it was a great experience for us. And then for them to see us and know us and, these are women that work in the energy sector. They look like me. They look like people that are in my community, and to really be that representation for them meant a lot to us.
Yeah, again, that, like you said, that means so much, again, for them to be able to see that, okay, I can be that person. That job is for me. That career is for me. Here's a person that looks like me, that talks like me, that grew up like me, that has the same background, but was able to achieve and able to build a career for themselves. And being able to really kind of just change their life or just build on, be that next brick in the legacy in their families. So again, great organization, giving females, giving African Americans an opportunity to come together and focus on things that are important to the community, and having very capable people go out and execute. Again, that's great organization. Looking forward to learning more. Maybe coming by and sharing a word or two, like April said. Come hang out for a minute. Come hang out. Come see what's up for a minute. What's happening. So all of you are women who have established careers for yourself. In the energy sector, traditionally a male-dominated industry. Through JA, I've met so many great career women. From engineers to computer scientists to bankers to business owners that have been trailblazers in industries that hasn't traditionally or weren't traditionally open to women. So, April, what does it mean to you to be able to inspire and prepare this next generation of young women for career success, like success that you kind of enjoyed in your career?
I think it's wonderful, having already had the opportunity to be inspired by, featured leaders when I was in high school through Junior Achievement Program. It was natural for me to decide to join Junior Achievement, even though I was afraid my personality might not match with the students initially, right? But, at first I said, how can I inspire anyone? I'm just a basic, person. But over the years and having the opportunity to work with these ladies for the last 3 years, you realize that we all have a story to tell, right? And no matter what we do, it might inspire them to, be the next, engineer, the next geologist, the next nurse, right? And so it's been a wonderful opportunity. I remember the first time I came around, I had made some waffles and brought in my waffle mix. And I'm thinking they're going to talk to me about engineering. They're like, wow, you produce your own waffle mix, right? And yet that got them inspired to idolate and kind of figure out how they wanted to build their company. And then it's been an honor to be able to work on the OS and IT side of the business, because a lot of my coworkers are like, what can we do to help our students? And they may come from different cultural backgrounds, and they're supporting B.O.L.D to help our students succeed. So I want to thank the OS and IT organization for teaching our students how to build a Power App initially and how to think outside of the box to build their application for their tutoring success, right? So, and then also for me, it's also been a blessing because my daughter, she came with me to student to student for Junior Achievement. And she's been selling the merchandise too. And she was so excited. She likes to sell her own lemonade, that she actually donated her lemonade stand to support our students. So it's been a family affair with Junior Achievement.
Yeah. And again, being able to inspire our students to be entrepreneurs, to believe they can be entrepreneurs, and to give them the skill set to understand the things that they need to be thinking about to actually build a company. Again, not just an idea, but the execution of it. Correct. And the business plan and getting investment and just what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what it takes to be successful at anything that you want to do. And again, that's so fulfilling to know you're giving something back that's like really tangible, like lessons that the old adage, you teach them how to fish. You give them a fish. They eat for a day. You teach them how to fish. They eat for a lifetime. And I think what you guys do and what Junior Achievement does, what B.O.L.D does, what SLB supports is teaching our children how to fish.
And also, what I was surprised was time management. A lot of times, these ladies are asking, like, how do you manage your time to do so much? So that's also been something neat to learn.
Yeah, I need that class. I still suck at that. So I need that time management. I definitely need that time management class. So I think while we all kind of joined and got involved with JA, is the opportunity to create generational change in the families of these children that we serve. To give them an opportunity to maybe be that first person that goes to college, or be that first person that builds a career at a great company like SLB, to be that person that starts that first business that grows into a multi-million-dollar business for that family, like to create that generational change. So I like to ask Jarrien, what does that term generational change mean to you? And have you seen your career maybe have that type of generational change where you're setting certain examples, maybe in your own family?
Yeah, so generational change, I think oftentimes we think first about financial freedom and on the path in that direction, but I think it's a lot more than that, right? And when I think about my family and my grandmother, who was near and dear to me, she always taught me being rich, you be rich with love first. But then you also want to make sure behind their riches, because we know that money is power, and being able to just establish just a strong foundation, as Tameka has talked about, our lessons learned with the generations, and making sure that we're setting up our children to be able to have, scholarships funds, or making sure they're out getting the scholarships, and making sure they understand what it means to be in corporate America, and not just from that very tactical educational standpoint, but it's also about that professionalism. What does that mean? Work ethics. I tell my 8-year-old son, if nothing else, I want you to be the most respectable person in the universe, because I think a lot of those things go a long way. We are taught to be very strong individuals in our community, but sometimes we miss the mark of what does it mean. And we're taught about inclusion and being yourself, but it is a certain level of respect that we do have to bring, and making sure that along with the generations that we are always improving. I am very fortunate that on my paternal side, that there's a family of entrepreneurs, right? And so a lot of the foundations of the strong work ethics. And I think, again, it's about setting those building blocks, the ABCs of we're here. And the starting point is always a step higher when talking about our generations, and making sure they understand the plights that we have gone through. Because I think our children, the three of us, April, Tameka, and our children, see things in life a lot differently. When I grew up, I didn't even realize that we were poor, right? And I didn't even honestly understand that until much later in life. But it's also about teaching them, again, that balance of, we'll start here from a foundation, from an economic standpoint, but making sure we bring that to, again, not just to our homes. We also like to do that from our standpoint. We have these classes that we call the master classes, where we are giving advice, interviewing skills, building your personal brand, elevator pitches, right? So we also, things that we have learned along the way, and it could have been through our professional careers that we are now learning, that we try to share that with any individuals that's willing to learn, and try to just pour as much as we can into the next generation, no matter how young they are.
Okay. Tameka?
Yeah, no, I think it goes back to exactly what you said about teaching how to fish, right? We know that this is really what makes a step change in communities. If we look at communities of color, there's still a bit of a lag in the wealth gap in what we've been able to earn. And we've made strides, I think, with each generation, but it really starts with being open and honest about the conversation. And so that's why I like JA, because it breaks it down in a digestible way. It takes it down to the student level where we can really have some deep discussions, but in building blocks that they can then build upon and take into their adulthood with them. And so I think through this program, even in my personal life, I've had to go back in, because I think a lot of times as parents, at least I'm guilty, we do things and we hope that our kids see it. But sometimes I may need to sit down and have a lesson plan with my daughter about budgeting. This is what it actually looks like. Let's sit down. And so, I don't want to just do this in classrooms across Houston. I need to do this in my home as well. And I can't just count on the fact that she's seen me do this and that translates to that knowledge for her. And so really keeping it honest and taking things in a digestible way and having those real conversations and ensuring that the next generation understands it and gets it, and that we can put them in a position to succeed.
Or just simply put it, just be cheerleaders to their road to success.
Yeah.
Rah.
Yeah. Get your pom-poms out. Get your pom-poms ready. Get your pom-pom going. So again, that generational change, again, like you guys said, I think a lot of it is about awareness in raising our own children and just providing the students that we have an opportunity to mentor to talk to lead, giving them that awareness about what it takes and what it means to be successful, not just financially, but as a person, to be someone that people can trust, to be somebody that someone can lean on, can count on, that people know you're prepared, people know your heart's in the right place, Again, not just financially or not just what you do to make money, but who you are as a person, and just making sure our kids have that awareness, and the students we have an opportunity to impact, just to make them aware of the things that they need, the characteristics, the personality traits, who they need to become in order to achieve the level of success that we want them to achieve. And again, I am super grateful to all three of you for all the work you've done with junior achievement, all the work you've done with B.O.L.D, all the work you've done with student to student, really just supporting our students and just having a positive impact on the Houston community. Over here at JA, we're lucky to have volunteers and people like you to support our programs, to believe in our programs, and be able to take those programs to the students in a real way where they can digest it and they believe it, because they believe it coming from you because you've done it and you continue to do it. So thank all three of you for joining us today here on JA Today. Again, grateful for you guys for being guests. And I've tried to be your gracious host today. All right. So
it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, right? We always like to have a good time. We always want to share good information. And did we talk about these football teams though? Okay, April, who's your favorite? April, who's your favorite football team?
The Bears.
The Bears.
My uncle played for the Bears. He has a Super Bowl ring from the Bears and the Giants. And the movie Concussion was based off of his true story.
Oh, Dave Duerson.
That's my uncle. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, Dave was an amazing player, an amazing person. And that movie, his story, has made such an impact in the game, right? Mm-hmm. But as a Bears fan, you've been sad for a long time.
However, I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm also a Broncos fan. Hey, Shay Shay, if Shay Shay decides to come on, Shannon Sharp, my husband since I was in middle school. But now that we're here in Houston, my daughter loves the Texans. So,
Jarrien, what's your team?
Okay, so I have a story. So, of course, being from Houston, I was a Houston Oilers fan. But then when they went away, I was like a free agent fan. And then I fell in love with the Indianapolis Colts when it was Peyton Manning and Dungy. Like, I just love that dynamic duo. Then when they split, they left the team. And so I'm just a fair weather fan again. So I went to college and became the Crimson Tide, Alabama Crimson Tide fan. And then my son plays Little League. So now I'm number one cheerleader for the Cobra Stafford. So that's where I am.
Ain't no fan like a mama fan. Mama fans win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, I think my sister actually is his number one fan. The Amy, the Amy's take over.
That AT will turn the stands out.
Oh yes, that is that Amy. Yes.
Tameka, who you got?
So I was today years old when I found out that Jarrien and I have both the same favorite teams. I'm originally from Indiana, so I'm a Colts fan, die hard. And yes, lately we've been sad for quite a bit now.
A lot of sadness on this call. Right now.
I hope we get it back, but definitely, and even as of last week, my other team is Alabama football, and last week wasn't so great. So I'm double sad right now, but I feel I'm going to keep hope alive for the Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide. They always come back. So.
And we're going to support CU Buffs with what's his name? Can't think of his name right now.
Deion Sanders?
Showtime.
Oh, Deion with the Colorado?
Yes, with the Colorado Buffs. Go Buffs.
He set the football world on fire here. So Deion's doing this thing up in Colorado. Again, I played most of my career for the Buccaneers, so I'm a Bucs fan. So it's been a little bit of sadness, since Tom Brady left. Hey, we have a Super Bowl more recently than all of y'all, so I got a little bit more.
No, my Stafford Cobras won last year.
Stafford Cobras. Who is them? Who is them folks? We don't know them folks.
Come to the south side.
Yeah, I might come check y'all out. But After week 1, it's been a lot of fun. Football season is back. I was bored because I don't watch baseball. So I was bored with no sports to watch. All my kids, I have 14-year-old, 11-year-old twins, boy, girl. They all participate in stuff. But they've been chilling lately. I've been to my daughter's volleyball games, cheering her on, but I hadn't had no football, basketball to cheer for in a while. So good to have NFL football back. Hopefully you guys, your teams can bring you some joy here in the new season. Everybody's still optimistic right now. It's week 1. So everybody's like, we're going to win. Get about week 8, then the reality sets in and we suck. And I got to wait till next year. But thank you guys for joining us again. Thank you for all the work you do. And I look forward to coming and seeing you guys at B.O.L.D and maybe coming over to the women's high school and helping you guys out over there with programs.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
All right, thank you.